Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Soaring with Social Sciences. In this space we focus on the social sciences with particular emphasis on CSEC social studies. And today we want to engage in a conversation about the natural resources of the Caribbean. The natural resources of the Caribbean. So let me start by asking you, what do we mean by the term resources? What are resources? And what are the natural resources of the Caribbean? Can you define the term resources? A resource is any living or non-living substance that is useful to man at a particular time, especially if he uses it to improve or maintain his standard of living. There are two main types of resources: human resources and physical resources. Physical resources may further be divided into two groups: man-made resources and natural resources. Natural resources are of two types. They are either renewable or non-renewable. Natural resources are those occurring as a result of acts of nature or processes taking place in nature. For example, the land, trees, or minerals are all natural resources. Man-made resources, on the other hand, are facilities built by man which are used to create economic wealth or to generate further production. These may include machines, cars, desks, computers, tables, etc. Natural resources are either renewable or non-renewable. Non-renewable resources are those which, once used up, cannot be replaced. These include oil, gold, bauxite, and other minerals. Renewable resources are those that may be used and reused, restored, or regrown within a reasonable period of time. These include agricultural land, forest, solar energy, etc. Today we spend time to explore the natural resources of the Caribbean. And we want to start by looking at our forest. Forest as a resource. Trees and forests are vitally important to the economic development of any country. Trees ensure the survival of humans. We use our forest in different ways. There are ecological uses and there are also practical uses. The ecological uses refer to those uses of trees that allow the trees to remain in their natural habitats, growing live. So trees modify the climate, they help to keep the supply of oxygen balanced, they provide shade, forests create a natural habitat for wildlife, and forests also preserve watersheds. But there are also practical uses of trees. When we cut down the trees to make other products. So trees provide raw materials for the clothing and textile industry. Trees are used to make lumber and log. Trees are used to build houses. Trees are also used as fence posts. One of the challenges we face with our forest is that of deforestation. We are cutting down our trees worldwide at an alarming rate, and it has dire consequences for us in the Caribbean as well as the rest of the world. The consequences of deforestation include increased soil erosion, increased flooding, resulting in droughts, and loss of diversity of species. And so it becomes imperative that we learn how to manage our forest resources. Can you tell two ways that we can manage our forest? Yes. We can create forest reserves, or we can practice sustainable forestry, which is using the forest at the same rate as replenish or maintain it. In other words, we plant back a tree for every tree that we cut down, and we practice reforestation. In that way, we are managing our forest. Let's now turn our attention to another of the natural resources of the Caribbean. This time we want to focus on our water resources. Water as a resource. Water is essential to all types of life on Earth. It is the most abundant and widely distributed resource. However, there are two major problems associated with water as a resource. There is a shortage of potable water, and there is pollution of our water sources. Our water sources, whether seas, lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, are used in many different ways in the Caribbean. Water is needed in the body to assist in blood circulation. Water is used for irrigation of crops. Water is used in motor vehicles as a coolant for radiators. Water is used in our homes in many ways domestically. Water is also used in the manufacturing industry, in the processing of goods and chemicals. Water is used in so many ways. Let us continue to be mindful of the need to conserve this vital resource, and also to ensure that we are not engaging in pollution of our water sources. And now let's turn our attention to another of the natural resources of the Caribbean. This time we pause to focus on land as a resource. Land is used by humans to obtain food, to erect physical structures, and for human settlement. Can you explain the ways in which the land may be abused or misused? Please respond by dropping me a line in the comment below. How can the land be misused or abused? So we have been talking about the natural resources of the Caribbean. Let me pause to ask, are there any questions so far? If you have questions, feel free to comment and post your questions below. So now let's continue on to talk about rocks as a resource. Rocks are composed of mineral particles, and these prove very valuable to economic development of any country. Rocks are used in several ways. They provide materials for other industries, example jewelry and chemicals. They are useful in the making of gems and stones, and they also help to hold the soil together. So there you have it, students. We have explored the natural resources of the Caribbean. But what is of greater importance to us at this point is that we must consider how we use our natural resources. I submit to you that there are proper and improper practices associated with the use of our resources. The improper practices include overgrazing, overcropping, overplowing, deforestation, and slash and burn agriculture. And these have had devastating effects on our Caribbean environment. We must endeavor to practice proper use of our resources, which include conservation and sustainable use. In subsequent videos, we will explore the consequences of these improper practices. We will take time to look in particular at the whole matter of pollution and the effects of global warming on our Caribbean environment. Here is where we put a wrap on this conversation on the natural resources of the Caribbean. Let me pause to thank you for stopping by I appreciate you watching this video. I encourage you, if you have been informed, educated, if you have enjoyed this video, then share it. Feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. And have a great day. See you next time in class or right here on YouTube as we soar with social sciences.